everybody, and I mean that on the it's April 13th, 8:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to another edition of 205 Live Matters. I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and of course, with me tonight, we are the Simple Holiday. He is a family man. He is one of my best friends. We are members of Team Unity Q, the NX team, and pretty much we have our own brands. It is the Holiday Christopher Mace. Chris, how are you and your family? How was your holiday weekend?
Family's doing good. My daughters enjoyed Easter. Like I said, it's just been an interesting weekend. It was nice to have Easter off and the day after Easter. Enjoyed nature and picnics and all this other fun stuff we call life. Just the little things of life we can try to do right now.
I mean, there's a reason why literally when I get involved in social media beyond wrestling talk, and I'm not just saying that because I also watch Wrestle Talk too, but sometimes I just be like, life, posts. That's all I'm doing. I'm living life to the fullest and the best of it. Simple as that. Right within the comforts of my home, my realm of wrestling, rest, video games, etc. But I digress. And yes, speaking of life, well, for the Cruiserweights, life definitely continues as there's no pause to what they're doing as a ton of news broke out. If you all remember from our last episode, we fantasy booked, and we are still going to go through it, and I figured out how to put a poll at the end of the video, and I think I will put in a poll at the end of next week's video, per se, as this video will further talk about one of the wings of our Fantasy Cruiserweight Classic 2 tournament. However, I'm pretty sure somebody actually watched this show because, ladies and gentlemen, if you did watch our last videos, they did break out news that they will be crowning an interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship because due to travel bans, Jordan Devlin is unable to defend his title. Basically, he's getting screwed and stripped. But in my opinion, I see optimism in this because we are getting an elevation, I finally feel like, of the Cruiserweights as this tournament is showing newcomers, returns, debuts, a format I don't think WWE has used before, in my opinion, but with the fact that Triple H is looking forward always to trying to create NXT Japan, I do find it curious they are using similar GP tactics like Best of Super Juniors, which we will talk about shortly. And of course, we had another great, simple, under 3-minute episode of 205 Live. So we will first discuss with that and go into further details about the announcement Rigo basically broke on the bump, which I don't watch, but I followed slowly on Twitter, and also our Fantasy Cruiserweight Tournament and more. So please enjoy this session of 205 Live Matters. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about last week's episode. It emanated, of course, from the Performance Center with the biggest fan there, literally. And basically, I can't believe they turned that meme into a shirt. God. Anyway, April 10th from the Performance Center, 205 Live. It was another two-match showcase. As we had a first-time ever match, we had subtle rivalry continuing to brew in 205 Live's OGs versus NXT, which is at the heart, pretty much, of every 205 Live I see nowadays, because while the OGs who built this brand still represent this brand, still compete on it, they more so compete against NXT, as it's just about individual achievement and who is worthy of being Cruiserweight Champion, or challenging for it, or in this case, being part of the tournament. So we'll go ahead and talk about these two matches first. Our first match was Tony Nese versus Danny Burch. You had the high-risk, fast, physically capable, agile Tony Nese versus the gritty, downright brawler, also technical wrestler Danny Burch. And these two had a solo back and forth. By the way, botch for the Titantron with Kushida's Titantron. Somebody's going to get so fired, or maybe they're not caring because they're not supposed to be there. But anyway, Tony Nese versus Danny Burch. This, of course, was brought in after Nese eliminated Danny Burch in that Captain's Choice match weeks ago using the Sing Cam. And it finally came ahead here in this match. Commentary, by the way, was provided by John Quatso and Byron Saxton. Yeah, don't know why.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a nice back and forth in the very beginning as both men were literally jogging to control a body part as Nese was trying to control the left leg of Burch while Burch was trying to control the head of Tony Nese. Things really picked up, though, after an ankle pick on Burch into a wicked spinning elbow strike by Tony Nese. Not botched like Andrade's. Oops, sorry. Basically, splash, body scissors, control most of the match. Tony Nese controlling the pace of the match, grounding the governor. However, he was also using dirty tactics, yanking both ears for some reason. I guess just trying to keep him more, stabilized. But, of course, you can't do that. Anyway, Burch, he eventually fights out of it, and he just shows intensity similar to his partner, Oney Lorcan, in just wailing the hell out of Tony Nese with stiff rights. and at one point a missile drop kick for a nice near fall. Then there was a nice suplex into Stamos up, double stomp combination into another near fall. However, Tony Nese took over with hung with top rope, springboard moonsault. There was some solid trash talk. Tony Nese, I feel, is still trying to prove something more to himself rather than 205 Live or just to others. And in the end, approach shot, cross-face, roll through into a southpaw to the throat. Ouch. Allowed him to pull off his, well, it seems to be anymore his finishing combination. Suplex to the corner, running Nese, Tony Nese gets the win. Tony Nese, once again, beating the other half of the 1-2 connection now, proving why he is a premier athlete. And then, like, he wanted to probably just stay on TV all night, literally just berating commentary, talking about, I am the best cruiserweight. I deserve to be cruiserweight champion. I shouldn't even need to be going through this tournament. Hey, don't you interrupt me. That's rude. I'm telling you something. You should be listening to me. I was like, okay, this is getting a little overkill, Tony Nese. Jeez. And it wasn't until, and by the way, coming back from commercial, he was still berating the commentary. I can't imagine someone rambling on like that forever, just incoherently about themselves. Good grief. Good try on commentary, though, to try and keep things moving forward. It wasn't until Jack Gallagher's music hit, though, that Tony Nese finally shut up. And basically, Jack says, this is my time. Go away. This is my match. And we all know the subtle heat between Tony Nese and Jack Gallagher from that Captain's Choice match. He's like, okay. And then we get the first time ever match of Oney Lorcan versus Jack Gallagher. I'm not calling him gentleman anymore because he's not gentleman anymore, it seems. And boy, did he show it here in this first time ever affair, where he literally challenged Oney Lorcan to give him his best shot. And boy, did he. At one point, absorbing Oney Lorcan's stiff chops, but then later on in the match, one of those chops finally got through and knocked the wind out of Jack Gallagher. But I like the fact Jack Gallagher, he really was aggressive, showed a lot of, I'm just going to say it, ruthless aggression here, as he literally just kept brawling with this guy. This match, I thought, was going to be more like, Jack Gallagher being in submission bait. It's like Jack Gallagher has completely redefined himself. It's time to put over. He took some time off, went home to London, came back with this newfound look and attitude, period, and it pays dividends here. And at one point, several points during this match, he's just saying, come on, tough guy, hit me, Oney with the razor edge chops and Jack Gallagher with the receipt back, and then Oney finally hitting a half and half, which usually indicates the win. Jack Gallagher kicked out. Oney Lorcan, time to elevate your game here, man. Basically, Oney, he stays on the offense as much as he can, and then there was a ridiculous attempt at a mega half and half that probably would have broke his neck if not executed properly, so I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. And basically, Nese came back out with a chair, but he was just, taking a seat, okay? And Oney, of course, with the quick roll-up off the distraction, almost gets the win on Jack Gallagher until Jack literally does the freaking headbutt, and both men drop each other. Ouch. Why is the headbutt such a stable move in British wrestling? Good Lord, what's your brains made of? What's your head's made of? Anyway, following this, though, we're wondering who's going to capitalize. Damn it! Nese! Damn it! Such a good match. Nese attacks Gallagher. Again, that subtle robbery is not over. Caused the DQ, so Oney Lorcan wins via disqualification. But Oney was not happy by that either, as Oney goes after Tony Nese, tries to take him off Jack Gallagher. Jack, nowhere to be found, he gets away, while Tony Nese tries to take advantage of Oney Lorcan, only for Danny Burch come out to save Tony Nese from being attacked with a chair. While Tony Nese said, hey, I already beat you. The end. So there's a number of things I take away from this. All for men trying to prove a point they deserve to be in this tournament and they deserve to go be the interim Cruiserweight champion. But also it's a fact of Jack Gallagher, I think, also saying, don't forget, I also was part of this brand when it first started. I'm here to finally prove a point. I have yet to hold championship gold, and he hasn't. Period. So with that being said, Chris, what was your takeaways from this week's episode? Which match you like better, and which of the four performers impressed you the most?
I like the first match better because it wasn't a DQ finish at the end. Like I said, Burgess establishing his game. He's showing he can be more than just a brawler. He did a good job in this match with Tony Nese. Good psychology, back and forth, each one working on a body part for an extended period of time until we got closer to the finish. Like I said, the match ended with Nice winning, which, like I said, makes sense, especially since he's going to be part of this interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament here. We'll discuss a little bit later. It's interesting to see how it's all going to play out with Tony Nese. And then the story, pretty much this was the Tony Nese show, if you think about it, because he went from that to him complaining. One thing we didn't reference, though, is before he got interrupted first time by the message from Jordan Devlin first. We had that message from him, if you remember, right?
I was
pretty much berating him, talking about whoever's going to become this interim champion is a joke. And like I said, when I get back, I'm going to show who the real Cruiserweight champion is. And then he was saying, see, you got a message from him, see? And then you hear the gentleman's music hit, and then he backs away. And then we get the match, and pretty much Nese ends up causing disqualification in that match because he wants to get retribution. He's already beat Lorcan. He wants to get his hands on the gentleman. He's already proved he can beat Lorcan, and the gentleman is on his radar for what happened in that Captain Challenge match.
Yep.
But then, like I said, Burch coming down to make the save. So it pretty much was the Tony Nese show. On this episode was pretty much start to finish was Tony Nese, more Tony Nese. He left for a few minutes, more Tony Nese. The only thing I would have been interested in, like I said, if Tony Nese was going to come back here, he might as well just stay at ringside during the match and had Danny Burch stay in the ringside during the match.
That
might have been, because pretty much they both ended up coming back out there, like not even 10 minutes afterwards, they both ended up coming back out there. I would have left them both out there and just had them both at ringside.
Yeah, because again, it just seems like Danny Burch is out there to support his friend Tony Nese. He's out there watching everybody, but he wants to get his hands on Jack Gallagher. You might as well have those two replace the freaking two men on commentary and be an impromptu commentary team just for this main event match. Only because they're going to attack each other, then for it all to break down after we actually have a finish to the match in the ring. Because I really was enjoying where this match was going. I was like, okay, what are you two going to do now? Both men are down. Both men wailed into each other's chest, red as meat. And then the headbutt that knock each other silly. And then Tony Nese, you come in here and you let your ego and your pompous hothead attitude ruin that. Damn you. But yeah, Tony Nese, he's basically out here to say he is 205 Live. Simple as that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now he has a chance to prove it. As William Regal put on the bump, for those that watch it or follow it on Twitter, me, I just found out on Twitter, William Regal broke an announcement that due to the events that are currently facing the world today, we are going to hold a tournament and crown an interim NXT Cruiserweight Champion. And they picked a very unique format. Now, again, I know Triple H has plans to expand the NXT brand, global localization. One of those regions is Japan. What's one thing Japan is very well known for? Grand Prix and tournament formats. Now, I can't recall the last time I saw this underneath the WWE banner or even if WCW did something like this, but they literally took away block action, round-robin tournament style, I feel, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, like Best of Super Juniors. Because here's how it's going to go down, folks. It's not 16 like our fantasy tournament. It's 8. But the way those 8 are put together is in 2 groups of 4, Group A, Group B. And each person in those groups will face each other, respectively, in round-robin action. Basically, each one of these 8 men are going through at least 3 matches to determine who is the best out of each block to go against each other one-on-one to crown the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion, interim. I hope they make that part of the graphic, too, because we all know Jordan Devlin. He got fucked. So that being said, they did finally announce the participants as of yesterday on all their social media platforms. And I must say, the blocks surprised me. So before I talk about who's in the blocks, I just want to think about some names that I'm surprised were not in this. Tyler Breeze, for example, who's been making waves on the 205 Live brand and also on NXT, has not had a chance, I feel like, to even go towards any championship gold. And I believe he has yet to hold any sort of gold in WWE. So I'm surprised he wasn't in it because it looked like he was really making his way. Angel Garza, I guess he's stuck right now with Raw tag team business, so he's not going to try and get his belt back that he feels like he should have got back from Jordan Devlin. Another name that surprised me that wasn't involved in this, Leo Rush, who we all know held that title for quite the distance. But, went through a bunch of stuff and lost out to Angel Garza. Said he was going to do anything to get back. He was not involved in this either. And then I'm thinking about, okay, who can you bring back maybe? I was thinking like the guy, Cedric Alexander, who was Mr. 205 Live, in my opinion. But they're doing something with him and Ricochet, so I guess I can understand that. Drew Gulak, but I know he's doing stuff with Daniel Bryan. So I was like, okay, so how are you going to fill this up? Because I could definitely figure out who was involved in the Captain's Choice match, and you pick 8 men from that. But does all those men deserve it? Like Lee Brian Kendrick, for example, who never, basically since episode 1 losing the title, has not had an opportunity to get the title back. And basically talks about, show me something, do something, for I am a professional wrestler. And I know you can't involve UK guys because of the travel ban. But anyway, we got our 2 blocks, and I must say, very unique decisions. We have up-and-comers for 205 Live, OGs of 205 Live, and brand new people making not only their 205 Live, but NXT-based debuts too, since 205 Live is NXT. Mm-hmm. With that being said, Chris, you saw the blocks like I did. You and I both have our thoughts on it and the format, but you and I also have our thoughts on who we think should be involved in the finale. What do you think so far of the setup and the approach and the people involved that WWE has basically put in front of us?
WWE never in their history has done a Red Robin tournament. The NWA and WCW did the Red Robin tournaments, which they worked it out similar to what they did. They haven't done what they didn't. The last time they really did one was close to in the early 90s when Sting became the #1 contender to challenge Ric Flair, and he got kicked out of the Four Horsemen. It was the last Red Robin tournament that I can remember off the top of my head. Right. I think they did one more in 95, which involved New Japan wrestlers as well, but I know they did it. I think it was based on the Starrcade 95 event, or no, either Starrcade 94 or 95 event. It was whatever the main event that Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake fought each other for the world title. So it had to be 94 Starrcade when they did that last, and 95. But still, you can work it out like this. I think they are adapting more the New Japan style, sort of kind of like the G1 series, but they're making it shorter. It's not going to be a whole bunch of different series. You don't have so many people in it. You're pretty much doing it with a series of 8, and each one's got to face each other one time. Yep. I know they talked about they had a tiebreaker if the 2 people ended up being tied, which would be interesting.
Head-to-head records, which I assume is their 205 Live record, because I'm like, okay, what record are you referring to? 205 Live, NXT, hybrid matches? How's that going to work?
Yeah, and they haven't quite explained that yet, so we'll have to see, because like I said, some of these guys who have had matches on 205 Live have had matches on NXT, so it's one of those, which one format are you using, so that's where the confusion might be with that tiebreaker. But either way, it's an interesting concept. They're trying something different. New Japan's always going to do it better than anybody else does. They always have. NWA, WCW try, but they fumble the ball on that sometimes as well. So, all in all, this is an interesting concept. It's better than an 8-person tournament because it makes it a little more predictable on who might win these and how this is all going to play out. Because you're going to do like you do in the G1 series. You got one guy from Block A, one guy from Block B. The winner of both those blocks are going to face each other. Winner of that's going to become the NXT interim Cruiserweight Champion. But then you got to hold your horses, because once it's all said and done, you're going to have to face the Irish Ace, who's pissed the hell off about all this stuff. And this is maybe how they finally set up a WrestleMania 10-like ladder match to determine the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Champion. If that's going to be the payoff at the end, and I see it, that's the way it needs to be.
I hope that's on like an NXT TakeOver type platform, or like that literally takes a whole episode of 205 Live, because that is a 30-minute match I cannot wait to see. And it still shocks me to this day that the Cruiserweight, today's inauguration of the Cruiserweight division has yet to have a ladder match. In the freaking 3 or 4 odd years that's basically been on, not a ladder match yet for this division. That's impressive considering all the other stipulations they have twisted as far as names go and brought under the 205 Live banner, included but not limited to no holds barred, street fight, no DQ, and even the Survivor Series traditional elimination matches. Just saying. But yeah, let's go ahead and also think about this too. When I say the thing, titles will be broken by head-to-head record. Now, they talk about the overall end score, because I imagine these matches, that's one thing WWE doesn't do. I don't know if these matches are going to have time limits. I imagine that they won't, and I feel like this is going to take across NXT and 205 Live, because when you look at the way this tournament is set up and the fact that we got basically 6 matches coming out of each like bracket, basically, or is it like, I don't know the overall number. You got like weeks basically of matches here, so it's like they already figured out the 205 lives for the next month and a good portion of NXT television too. But with that being said, we talked about basically the set of this tournament. Let's go ahead and talk about the competitors a bit. Now, I'm pretty sure you and I are not surprised that the very first two names that stick out to me are Kushida and Isaiah Swerve Scott. Not only because they were part of the winning team in the Captain's Choice match, but also they were the sole survivors. You and I kept on asking for these two to face each other one-on-one to determine who could become the number one contender, the Cruiserweight champion. Not have a chance to actually become the champion. We all know Swerve wants Devlin after basically the events that occurred at Worlds Collide. Kushida, he has been nothing but impressive, and I feel like he deserves an opportunity. I think he has yet to lose on 205 Live. Now, as far as the originals go, we got Jack Gallagher, who is finally getting another opportunity after who knows how long, under this brand new persona he's bringing, and in-ring fighting style too. An aggressive brawler that will not take losing. And technically speaking, since he's come back, he has not lost a match via pinfall submission. He got screwed out one by Tony Nese. Speaking of which, Tony Nese, he's on the other side. He kept on barking and talking about, I'm the premier athlete, I should be in this tournament, I should be Cruiserweight champion, I am 205 Live. Now he has a chance to prove it. But, Chris, there's some other interesting names on here that you and I were not expecting at all. Give me your thoughts on them.
Drake Maverick, I wasn't expecting to be on here. Like I said, he hasn't been doing much since 24/7 stuff, and I know we talked about it before recording. We both know he's a former TNA/Impact X Division champion. We know he took Kurt Angle for the Impact TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. We know he took him to the limit. He's only had one 205 Live match, and that was against Mike Kanellis. And yes, Correct. He did win that match. However, does that warrant him being in here? You have so many other guys that I'm swear that's so shocked why they're not in here, like the Gulags, like that Cedric Allen. What about Mustafa Ali?
Mike Kanellis.
Why is he not in?
Mike Kanellis.
I mean, you have a lot of guys that are not in here. Maybe it's because they're limited on the people they have available because they couldn't involve the NXT UK stars because of travel bans. I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Maybe they are limited at what they're trying to do. They're trying to come up with a format. Because honestly, I think if you're going to do this Red Robin style tournament or like it's something similar to a G1 series, then you need to have 16 people involved, which will make it more interesting because everybody would face each other once, and then that would make it more interesting. But I don't think they have enough people right now because everything going on, because we've seen a lot of the same people over the last month on 205 Live, a lot of the same people performing just in different matches because of who they have available at the moment.
Right, but they could have brought in like Kalisto, former Cruiserweight champion. They could have brought in Bray Mentalik, the winner of the original Cruiserweight Classic, because it's not like the Lucha House Party is doing a lot right now. I think the last one they were involved in, they got squashed by, sorry, I forgot. Anyway, but yeah, it's like Drake Maverick, that shocks me. So is this what because they couldn't figure out what to do and they couldn't like pair him in EC3, make him like enjoy WWE or feel relevant. They couldn't do anything else within the 24/7 picture. Thank God though, I will say that. You really couldn't find like a manager role. He's not even like GM anymore, it seems, of 205 Live. It's like Regal's now at the spear heading that with Johnny Saint. So you put him in the tournament. Okay, yeah. So what are the chances that Drake Maverick gets the lowest score in this tournament? I know don't count out the little young Rockstar Spud guy, but are we going to get Rockstar Spud or are we going to get Drake Maverick? This is a different company, and I feel like it's a different person. Just saying. And I feel like everybody needs a scapegoat. When I look at these blocks, I look at Group A with the more, I don't know, actually, there's a balance. Like in New Japan, you always got like, the elite. No pun intended, but the big names, the names you feel like, okay, this is going to be huge, hard to call, etc. Then you got Group B being more experimental, traditional, more first times evers. And the way they kind of did this, they basically split both into an even playing field. But yeah, this name definitely caught my surprise. El Hijo del Fantasma. Y'all might remember him as King Cuerno from Lucha Underground. WWE finally signed him to the Performance Center. He has not been on TV yet. This is his debut, so I guess he's part of the Cruiserweight division, / NXT's Cruiserweight division. I know that he's held a few titles in AAA. He's had tag team championships. He's risked his mask on numerous occasions and has won. He's been through it all, so I think, yeah, he deserves it. I'm curious the way he will bring here, and also the blend of styles throughout this whole thing. It's like they're all over the world here, and there isn't really like two that connect to each other that are the same. But Cindy did bring something forward to me about Isaiah Scott history with another newcomer first coming into this. Jake Atlas. Hi, Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling, folks. Jake Atlas coming out apparently of Pacific Championship Wrestling and also Santino Brothers of Wrestling. Has held championship gold for both those promotions. 25 years old, young up-and-comer, who did his time in the independent scene. Just came off facing Dexter Lumis on NXT. What a weirdo. And lost, but a good, strong effort. And I guess now he's part of the Cruiser division as well. And if you haven't looked at Shane Strickland or Isaiah Scott versus Jake Atlas, go to YouTube, check it out. That would be a hell of a finale. But then there's one last spot here. We talk about 7 people, okay? So there's a spot, right? You would think, okay, what they're going to do with this, okay? Let's think about our names here. We driven off a bunch of names like who can they bring back, who could be in this spot, who deserves this spot, who basically asked for this spot or pledged for this spot, basically. And none of them came to fruition as a person that I think many people forgot about, but I feel like a person that really wants to go into this trying to forget something of his past. Akira Tozawa.
Yeah.
Akira Tozawa, who held the Cruiserweight Championship, I believe, for 48 hours, if that, under
6 days.
Yeah, that too. Still, it was a blink of an eye because we all saw what happened when he faced when he faced Neville, the king of the Cruiserweights, even under Titus Worldwide, and he never recovered since. But he has held great, incredible matches. I mean, he and Mike Kanellis tore the house down weeks after weeks on 205 Live. He and Cedric Alexander had a great match once in the Cruiserweight Championship tournament. Founded on respect for Cedric won. But I figure Akira, he truly wants to prove something here, and I still think about that face-to-face between Akira Tozawa and Kushida, where Akira looked like he wanted to get a piece of Kushida, and it's like Akira was kind of trying to be heelish. So there's a lot of potential here as we got newcomers, a return, 205 Live OGs, and NXT up-and-comers. So with that being said, Chris, I'm going to ask you straight out, what do you want your finale to be?
Isaiah Scott to win. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I think the long-term best storytelling would be to do Isaiah Scott, and then and that's why I'm going to go brain dead and blank for a second. If they're both in separate blocks, I would do Isaiah Scott versus Gentleman Jack Gallagher. Then have them face each other. Let that be a damn good match. Let them tear the house down. Let Isaiah Scott get the win in a very competitive match. Let him become the NXT interim Cruiserweight champion. When it's all said and done, Jordan Devlin comes back. That's when they set up the first ever NXT Unified Cruiserweight Tag Team Cruiserweight Championship ladder match. I don't know why I had the tag team titles on my mind.
You got NXT and like Cruiserweight, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know. It's a lot of words. But I kind of like your idea because let's think about this. It's round robin. The men are in 7 blocks, but it doesn't mean one of them can't fall to unexpected injury. Who's to say that somebody in this tournament will not try to sabotage somebody else? Also, I might add, who's to say somebody won't be abducted? What the heck's going on with these abductions, and where the hell is Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde? Can you explain that to me?
No.
Who's to say one of these men is not going to be abducted next? Is there a new trio or tag team forming? Are these masked men going to show themselves at the end of this interim Cruiserweight Championship tournament and basically define themselves as, we are going to run the Cruiserweight division? Something bigger has got to be going on behind the scenes, folks. I'm just saying. But with that being said, go ahead. What you got?
Well, as long as it's not Aces and Eights 2.0, we're good.
I'll give you that. Well, there's no motorcycles involved. It's a black van, so...
Yeah.
And it's 2 masked men like luchadors, so I don't think it's Lucha House Party because they're tall. So, I mean, yeah, there's that. But with that being said, I'm looking at this, and I keep thinking about Kushida versus Isaiah Scott. Not to just leave out everybody else, though, because there is so history. And again, for those who don't know Kushida, let me talk to you. Kushida is a multiple-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. He has held some of the best matches possible. 6 times. Thank you. He has held some of the best matches possible at Wrestle Kingdom, has passed up the title to multiple people, including Taiji Shimori, Will Ospreay. He's had bouts with King Ricochet, remember that name, Marty Scurll, Hiromu Takahashi, the Ticking Time Bomb, the list goes on. And he has won the Best Super Juniors on a number of occasions. And then you have, like I said, Drake Maverick, former Impact X Division champion. He cashed in option C, came this close to winning the freaking title. Toy Nese, What more do we need to say about Tony Nese? He basically told you his resume on this episode. Yes, former Cruiserweight champion, lost it at Stomping Grounds in a triple threat, but he hasn't recovered since. Tough break. This might be your last opportunity. Jake Atlas, there's not much to the guy. One match so far on the NXT banner. He is put his time in the independent scene, and he's had history with Isaiah Swerve Scott. That much I can tell you. Isaiah Swerve Scott, I've seen him all the way through Lucha Underground. Oh my gosh, in Killshot, when he did that Hell of a match, I thought for sure he fucking was going to die. But anyway, he's survived all that. He has been nothing by the NXT heavyweights, cruiserweights galore, and again, showing that confidence only Swerve can show. Then we have El Hijo del Fantasma. I told you a little bit about him. We have Akira Tozawa, who again, he had a 6-day reign. The shortest reign I might have. Well, no, I take that back because Levi and Kiddock had it for 1 day. But anyway, second shortest reign ever in this era of cruiserweight division. And then Jack Gallagher, OG, yet to hold the freaking gold. Can he finally do it with this new attitude? With that being said, if I were to guess what I think the finals is going to be, Group B has Isaiah Swerve Scott, El Hijo, Akira, Jack Gallagher. I really feel like Isaiah is going to win Group B. And Group A, Kushida, Drake Maverick, Tony Nese, Jake Atlas. Tony Nese is driven. Isaiah Swerve Scott is driven. Kushida, though, very impressive. The two have had subtle face-to-faces, yet to face each other one-on-one. I finally want to see it. I'm going to keep with it. I still think it's going to end with Kushida and Isaiah Swerve Scott. Now, with that being said, This isn't the G1 Climax. We're not going to predict every match, but we don't even know what matches are going to go on this week. Otherwise,
and we don't know the order.
Yeah, we don't know the order. Otherwise, we probably would actually talk about that. So we're going to have to review it and see what happens come next 205 Live Matters. But with that being said, I'm excited for this, and I hope it does lead to Jordan Devlin showing up with his title while the interim holds his title, and we get that ladder match to crown the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Champion. WrestleMania 10, reinvented, revisited for the division that can do the most with it. And I bet you, story-wise, it'll be written and choreographed mostly by nobody else than Shawn Michaels. But with that being said, that's all we can talk about with the NXT Interim Cruiserweight Championship Tournament. Let's go ahead and get into some simple stances. As you all know last week, and again, out of the blue, me and Chris Mace, we decided to fantasy book our own Cruiserweight Classic 2 with a field of 16, distributed among 4 wings, NXT, NXT UK, 205 Live OGs, Wild Card. So what we're going to do over the coming weeks, we're just going to have fun and think about who out of these 16 men deserve to be called the best Cruiserweight in the world. And no Will Ospreay's not part of it. With that being said, Chris, we talked about this last week. We talked about the bracket. We basically are just going to go single elimination tournament. But let's go ahead, since we're talking about NXT Cruiserweight Division, NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and I'm wearing NXT. Let's go ahead and look at your NXT wing first and talk about those 2 matches. Which match do you want to talk about first? And in your opinion, who would win out of it?
You know what? I did all that last week. You're going to have to read off what I said. Yeah, I remember I did that on a whim.
That's all right. I just do it that way, Jeff. With that being said, though, what else is on your mind as far as cruiserweights go? Because we can mix this up. We haven't done that in a while. Anything else in your mind as far as the stances go? The Cruiserweight Division, Cruiserweight Championship, these newcomers. Somebody you think that should be in the Cruiserweight Division. Somebody you think that's in the Cruiserweight Division that maybe doesn't fit the Cruiserweight identity.
That's a good one because there's few. I still think they should tell the story of Rey Mysterio coming back. I'm going to keep contesting that to the end of time. They should have already been done this storyline as he's winding down in his career. Just have him tell that story. Katira Katala needs to go back to the Cruiserweight division, get him off Raw, leave him back. I think they need to pull everybody back to the 205 Live division and rebuild it from there under the NXT banner and put guys, like I said, like Mustafa Ali, like Cedric Alexander. Hell, maybe add Ricochet. Because what did y'all do with Ricochet after you put him in a match with Lesnar for the WWE Championship? He lost in 5 minutes. You gave him a match for the 24/7 title against Riddick Moss, and he lost to Riddick Moss. Ricochet? It's like, here, we're giving you a WWE title match. Here you go. You lost in 5 minutes. Okay, we all expected that, but come on. You lost to Riddick Moss in a 24/7 title match. I think Ricochet would be better off in the 205 Live division and under the NXT banner, put him in the Cruiserweight division right now. I think you need somebody with his caliber and his style in there. Especially since you can't use the NXT UK stars right now. They're all under quarantine. They're not even doing any more NXT UK tapings right now, so you won't be able to see any of them superstars or be able to use them right now. Bring somebody that you can use. You can use Ricochet as long as he's not quarantined himself.
No, well said. Yeah, when I think about the current Cruiserweight division, I look at it like this. Who do I think basically doesn't fit the idea of Cruiserweights? I don't think there's necessarily somebody that doesn't fit that because everybody that we see on 205 Live, they're putting it all in the ring. It's not like, just meh. It's not like flashy per se, but it's also not per se more entertainment driven. It's more wrestling driven. As like SmackDown used to be like the more wrestling based show. I guess it still is to be said. But 205 Live, in a way, I don't know. It's really in a state of rebuild, like I said right now. But with this whole epidemic going on, it's kind of hard to define basically which way it should go, who I would add, or who I would change it to. I mean, I think Akira Tozawa, first off, is a perfect return because you haven't done anything worthwhile with him at all since being drafted to Monday Night Raw. Period. The last great big thing he tried to do was bring the Cruiserweight title to Raw in that opening triple threat at Survivor Series on the pre-show. I'm bringing it back. Folks, let me remind you of something in case you forgot what I'm about. 205 Live matters. It does not belong on the fucking kickoff show.
But he digressed.
It's been a while since I bring that back, but I had to. I brought that up. But anyway, yeah, he had that triple threat with Leo Rush and I think it was Kalisto at Survivor Series last year. And he hasn't done anything since, and he lost that too. Now, as far as Sir Alexander, again, he was 205 Live. He did the most with that brand, in my opinion. And clearly, right now, he's doing something with Ricochet. I guess Paul Heyman is trying to do something with both Ricochet and Sir Alexander, who we both see potential in, but Vince McMahon's a fucking idiot and does not. I told you, folks. It's true. It's damn true. And WWE's not essential service. Fuck you. With that being said, bigwigs, blood-sucking leech chicks. Anyway, going off topic. Let's see. SmackDown side. They're doing stuff finally with Drew Gulak beyond PowerPoint presentation. Though I still use PowerPoint. Lucha House Party, I'm surprised they didn't bring in one of them for this tournament. I mean, I'm still waiting to see if Grand Metalik could ever get the Cruiserweight Championship. He was second in the Cruiserweight Classic. Kalisto, he had the title for a short stint. Buddy Murphy being the disciple of Seth freaking Rollins. Clearly, I don't see them bringing him back, but he was definitely the heavyweight of the Cruiserweight division. Now you need to really find somebody to fill that mold. And honestly, I don't know if you have that right now with this Cruiserweight division, as he hit 205 pounds. I think the closest person that could probably hit it is Austin Theory. And I think Austin Theory is above the 205 live weight limit. Although I do like Bronson Reed's tweet where he's like, oh, cool. Oh, wait. Yeah, boy, you too thick. Sorry. that would be interesting, though, to say the least. Yeah, as far as who would I basically draft or move from 205 Live to somebody else, bring it in 205 Live? Maybe Joseph Connors, because I feel he's pretty close to the weight limit. He's got that whole shit about I am worthy. Prove you're worthy if you are trying to become the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. But honestly, that's just off the top of my head, and I'm not really sure at this point. Again, we're right now at a state of indifference and rebuilding, and we don't know who's going to compete first in this, and we don't know who's necessarily going to have it by the end, and we don't know if they're going to repeat, but we hope for the best of WrestleMania 10 finish. So I think with that being said, because I did say we're going to talk about the Fantasy Cruiserweight Tournament too, the fact they threw this actual tournament just threw everything off the rails. So I think we probably will just hold off to start that till next week, till we see the opening matches with this. But with that being said, we don't know what matches might go first, but let's go ahead and close with this. Chris, looking at both blocks, Block A, it contains the following: Kushida, Drake Maverick, Tony Nese, Jake Atlas. NJPW is known to have matches of blocks or certain nights. Out of those four men and the ways they can face each other, what do you think is going to be the best match to come out of this block? In my opinion, I think it's personally going to be Kushida versus Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas is a very big unknown, but he's going up against one of the best cruiserweights in the world, or junior heavyweights, excuse me. And Kushida, he came to NXT to challenge himself against the best and bring a new experience for himself. I don't know if Kushida and Jake Atlas know each other that well, and I feel like that unknown could create something great. So with that being said, I think the match I'm looking forward to the most from Block A is Kushida versus Jake Atlas. What about you?
I agree with that one. Jake Atlas versus Kushida. I would agree with that one. Jake Atlas is going to be the wow factor in all this, too. He might surprise us. We just don't know yet. We'll have to see how it all plays out, but he is that wow factor in this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's a young lion like Ren Narita or Shota Umino, where it's like you have this young up-and-comer that's getting this training, and you want him to win, but 99.9% they're not going to. Jake Atlas, I feel, is very capable to take maybe the block if he can get past these greats in Kushida, in Tony Nese. I feel like even Drake Maverick could be a hurdle to him because Drake Maverick, he's crafty. He's not Rocky Romero, but he's crafty. And yes, I'm making NJPW references again because, again, this has NJPW written all over it as far as this format goes, in my opinion. So that's what I'm saying. And as far as Drake Maverick goes, I don't want to say he's going to end with a score of 0, but I feel like he's going to.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, Group B, you have Isaiah Scott, El Hijo del Fantasma, Akira Tozawa, and Jack Gallagher. Chris, what's the match you're looking forward to the most out of this block that you think could steal the entire block?
Isaiah Scott versus the gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Oh, do tell.
Because you got so many different variations that Isaiah Scott could beat you with, and you have this new personality of the gentleman Jack Gallagher. You got British strong style versus the high flyer, who's also can be a power wrestler as well. One time given up, both of them have different offenses, different styles of wrestling, so the unique difference of both their styles is going to tell an interesting story. Is the gentleman going to be able to ground and pound him with his new persona and keep him on the ground, or is Isaiah Scott going to be able to take control and leap in the air and take this match? It's going to be one of the two stories. Remember, it was Isaiah Scott and Kushida that it took both their efforts to pin the gentleman Jack Gallagher in that Captain Challenge match. I think the gentleman's going to want some retribution against Isaiah Scott in a singles match because of that.
Good point, because pop culture did lead to the Sakuraba arm block for the submission win. So I definitely could sense that match going in with some bitter hostility. But I think about Isaiah Scott and how much he digs into his arsenal and himself to ensure not only he continues to show that confidence, but gets a victory. I feel like he and Akira Tozawa are going to go the distance because Akira Tozawa is known as the stamina monster for a reason. To think all the crap that's happened to Akira Tozawa on Raw, we forgot how good Akira Tozawa actually is. It's like, hell, I didn't know how good Apollo Crews was for the longest time after he left NXT TakeOver until he had that, what felt like, I think, a 30-minute match with Aleister Black. Just saying. Akira Tozawa and Isaiah Scott, I feel, is going to go the distance, and you got Japanese strong style versus swerve style. I don't even know what you call swerve style is, a confidence style. But I feel like that match is going to be the most intriguing for the block. El Hijo del Fantasma, King Cuerno, for example, he's the most odd out of this block, okay? Because I know he's blending different styles here, but I just don't know how to really interpret him in this type of environment because I have yet to see how he assimilated his style to the WWE style. Because again, when you leave the independent scene, it's kind of like resetting to a degree because you have to reconfigure your style to fit the WWE banner of safe and cushioned and also working with people beyond your means. So, I don't know, but the bottom line is this. I still feel like by the end it's going to be Isaiah Scott versus Kushida, and we're going to get Isaiah Scott versus Jordan Devlin, and hopefully that latter match to crown the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Champion. But only time will tell, and we'll be back probably, I think, because I think NXT and Bolt 205 is definitely going to do matches for this starting this week. I think we'll be back this weekend to talk more 205 Live and also talk more about the fantasy tournament just because, you know what, maybe I'll make a poll and see if people are interested in the fantasy thing. Because, again, WWE, it's like, oh, wait, they have an idea? Let's do it before they do. But let's do it differently. Let's take it from NJPW because we want to set up territory there. So I think I'll set up a poll and see what people think. With that being said, what do you think, folks? What are you more excited for? Are you excited for the competitors in Group A or excited for the competitors more in Group B? what match you think will steal this entire interim tournament. Who is your interim NXT Cruiserweight Champion? What sort of match do you want to see Jordan Devlin face that champion in to once again prove why he is the undisputed champion? And I'm not talking about Adam Cole, baby, but also the one and only Irish Ace. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, or message us or text, whatever on social media. So with that being said, we are done this week with this edition of 205 Live Matters, because we only talked about one episode this week. So thank everybody once again for tuning in as always. I appreciate you all. I continually enjoy talking about Cruiserweight Wrestling and 205 Live. And Chris, it's always been a pleasure. You and I have been on this journey since its inauguration a few weeks in. And I think now don't even know what episode count I'm at. I'm going to have to double check. But this is always a pleasure, sir. Anything you want to plug, and where can people find you? Sorry, folks, we're both tired from work, too.
Well, first off, you realize I think it was actually this week, a year ago, was the first episode I ever did with you, actually.
I believe you're right, because I was about to say, I think this is like our annual celebration of the Simple Holiday form on 205 Live Matters.
Yes, I think I've done 48 out of the 52. I think there's been a couple times I haven't been able to make it, but like I said, 48 times. So I said, this is interesting. I think I've done more of these than I have NXT parties. I had to double check that, but I did a lot of them too.
Yeah.
But like I said, this is all going to be interesting. We'll see how this Red Robin format they're going to work out at the end of the day. We'll see how it all plays out. But if you want to follow me, you can go to my YouTube channel, The Holiday Chris Mace. We're trying to come up with different things for NWA discussion because I do NWA Power reviews. They're currently not available right now. We're trying to come up with different content as we go along. So might not be as much content right away because, I do have life and everything else going on, family and everything. So that comes first. But I'm going to keep on rolling with it. Like I said, I do it for the love of wrestling, love talking about wrestling. So, and if you want to check other members of the NXT team, go to my wrestling content playlist on my YouTube channel. You can support NoDQ.com. And if you want to follow me on any social media platforms, just go to Christopher Mace on either Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
Yes, about that. Well, thank you, Chris. Always a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about me, know this. I keep it simple, because I'm just a simple man. If you haven't figured it out by the background, as we're finally past the WrestleMania Too Big for One Night, and I wasn't there, as I got the shirt. Anyway, I am simply a lifelong fan of wrestling, not just sports entertainment, but all its forms. So follow me on Twitter, NoDQ.com/Noah. Follow me on Instagram, @mfoster1916. Follow the Civil YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/Noah Foster210. And basically, you'll find all things wrestling here. The Five Brands of WWE, NWA, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, my number one at heart, and always will be. Stardom, Pro Wrestling Noah, the list goes on and on. It's all things wrestling, simply talking, predicting, chatting, discussing, reviewing, and more. Simple as that. If you haven't figured it out by now, the reason I do this is always because of my family. Support NoDQ. Forever indebted to them. So please, support my friends. Be a part of the Galaxy. Be a part of the Predictions League. I personally score not only for the team, but for the Galaxy as well. Chris Mace takes parts in it at every pay-per-view and takeover. You can too. Just direct message me if you ever need the form link, because I always put it out on NoDQ's social media platforms. So please, follow NoDQ, support my friends, buy a shirt. I have a shirt. NoDQ.com/merch, take you to the store. Follow NoDQ on your social media platforms, because your opinions matter. Comments, just everything. Polls, columns, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps, polls. I never remember if I said that twice enough. My brain is tired. Sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily wrestling, WWE, a little bit of AEW, and Infinite News as well. As there are subdivisions of NoDQ as well. So if you're not only a fan of WWE or are not a fan of them at all, there is subdivisions that only focus on NXT, NXT UK, and even the independent scene, included but not limited to Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. We hope that league will pick up again soon once all this madness basically breaks. But again, and as always, I'd like to close. Support your wrestling outlets with big and small. Let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, unscripted wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in again to hashtag 205 Live Matters. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the subscribe button to help me grow the channel. I appreciate all of you on this fun creator's journey with me, because that's all it's about, the love and fun in all things wrestling. Also, like I said, hit the bell, know when the next video is going to go live. Tell a friend. I don't think I'm ever going to get into anything further than wrestling on this, because there's just not enough time between work and life and everything in college. But with that being said, as I always state, we'll be back once again to discuss the matches that take place so far in the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament, as well as, if you are in favor of it, maybe fantasy bracketing our tournament as well. Or hey, I might just save that in the vault and just do it after this one because I feel like right now we're just going to focus on this because again, we've got a lot of action to see how this all shapes out. And based on the results of these matches, it could be some mental games too because some people might be pressured to push themselves further and really make sure they don't lose. One loss could undo you, I think, in this. So we'll have to wait and see. But until the next video, take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families, stay safe, wash your hands, enjoy life, enjoy wrestling. And as always, on this Monday night, where I am not watching Raw right now, and probably not going to because I'm tired. I hope you all have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.
And remember, no matter how tired I am, and this will always be kind of like a pre-recording. But it won't be because I'll be saying it live like Big E does in New Day's intro. Whether you believe in me or not, I stand by this stance since day one. Ish. That 205 Live matters always.
Indeed.
And Funaki will always be SmackDown's number one. I wouldn't mind seeing him make commentary too. I miss that voice. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.